Go ahead.
Tell us about the caregiver support program you created. What is it and who is it for?
Um, it's for the caregiver like B. It's not that I've read about caregiving or whatever. I'm experiencing it myself. I take care of my moms, 100%. Um, and the caregiving group is about trying to get people to the acceptance stage, to accept
Mhm,
what's happening in front of them, right?
mhm,
To accept um that this person I'm caring for is no longer a burden. To accept that it's not them, it's the disease, right? Because a lot of times you just frustrated about what's going on, and you can't separate the
mhm.
person from the disease. So once you get to
Yeah,
that point where you can separate them and say, okay, that's not mom's, it's the disease acting like that, right? I
mhm,
accept the responsibility that I took on as a person,
mhm,
as a son, and things like that. So that's what it's all about. Getting to the acceptance stage and kind of give them some mental reps and
mhm,
understand that um in the throes of it, while you're doing it, that's mental reps, right? You have an
mhm.
opportunity to think differently instead of saying, "Oh, I can't handle this," saying, "Hey, I'm getting stronger through this," right? So you can actually tell yourself that, and that's the whole point of it. And I've tried to get people to understand that whatever's in their mind, they put it there.
Right. And you helped me out with that as well because not only have I been dealing with a situation similar, I also have been around and have dealt with people that that's the first thing acceptance that this person is no longer the same. Yes, their body is moving. Yes, they look like a whole full grown adult, but it's their disease that makes them not the person that you're looking at. And I've
Right,
seen people get frustrated. I too myself had got frustrated and reached out to you, and you just refocused my thinking. It was about how I was thinking about it, not the physical of what I had to do. It was
right,
my mental. How are you approaching this? Stop trying to reason with a person when it's a disease that you cannot reason with,
right,
and learn how to accept that part and
right.
move on. So
That's
my
acceptance.
days became easier just based off the what you had shared with me, and we're gonna get into that. The steps that helped me even be stronger, like you said. It made me stronger. It made me feel like I can do it. It didn't make me feel like I ain't doing this, I can't do this because the first thing your brain starts saying, "Look, I ain't getting ready to go through all of this." And what? You're a grown up. And I'm telling you something, and you're not psychologically, like,
Right,
who's the person with the problem now? I'm the person with the problem. Like you told me, you gotta separate it.
right.
You gotta separate from what how you feel from what's going on and what you still about to do. So, yes, it did,
So that's what when people use that word, it is what it is. They don't
mhm,
understand that's really true,
mhm,
right? That's the reality. Regardless of what you think and how frustrated you get, it is what it is.
yes,
That's the situation, right? You right
yes,
there taking care of someone. It is what it is, and that's healing. When you
yes,
say it is what it is, I'm not thinking that it's something else. So when people think that something is something else and they want something else to happen instead of
mhm.
what it is, that's when the suffering happens,
Yeah, they're gonna
right?
be disappointed because that's not what's gonna happen.
That's not the
Because
reality.
it is. It's not the
Right.
reality
So
of
if
it.
you understand that this is what it is, you can
Mhm.
focus on the solution,
Right,
right? Because you in that moment. Yeah.
right. So how has building that program helped you personally, if at all?
Um, I got a power P every day.
Mhm,
There's no destination to this thing called life, right? Life come with difficulties, right?
mhm,
So um there's no one fit all like this is it. I hit power P, this is it. No, it's a practice. And I'm just giving you the practice to jumpstart yourself. And then at the end of it, you'll be able to, do it daily. Practice, practice. I want you to be second nature to
right,
not be impulsive when something happens. Just
right.
automatically getting upset, automatically does that. I want you to get that pause in between where you take control. Now you can see the situation and then you can decide what you want to do next.
Right. So what kind of impact besides what I just said, and I didn't
Mhm.
even share that with you since
Uh-huh.
when I spoke to you about it. What kind of impact have you seen so far from the people involved?
A lot of people reach out to me, and I point them to PowerP. And you can go to powerp.com, the website, and press join the movement. They get a 7-day practice. Um, it's not about uh, them understanding me. I think a lot of people get that different. The understanding of me is the understanding you need to have of yourself,
Mhm.
right? Because understanding is more. You understand me. Now you under my control, or I got my knee on your neck. You understand me, right? I'm not saying that. I'm saying turn around and understand yourself, right? And
Understand, I like that.
understand. You understand yourself, right? So
Right.
that's the
So
impact.
so
Once you
so
understand yourself,
let's get into therapy.
okay?
So you said a lot about it, but if you could sum it up, what is it in your own words?
Power P is self leadership under pressure.
Wow.
That simple.
Wow, and that's very impactful because we all under pressure, and it
Right.
comes time when not using self-discipline could have you somewhere you didn't even intend to be, a situation you didn't intend to be in, not just in caregiving, but just in everyday life.
Everyday
You
life. Right. You got
you gotta have
responsibilities, you got
control over
pressures.
that.
You
Yeah,
got just
you gotta
caregiving, not just
control.
caregiving. Right.
So how did your personal experiences influence what you built with Power P?
Um, I just been through a lot, uh, just being a father, growing up without a father. Um, just life come with difficulty. We got to understand that, right? And I feel there's a lot of Zachs out there that's going through problems, struggles once in their life. They're going to continue to go through those things, but under those pressures and responsibilities, how you going to respond, right?
Right,
And I figured out the way I respond, and I figured out when I turned to myself, I figured out, you know what? I'm the resource.
right,
Whatever's in my mind, I put it there,
right,
right? So unhappy is a thought. I'm unhappy. That's a thought.
right.
And once I understood that, then I was be able to say, you know what? I'll give this philosophy to others. Turn to yourself, you're your own resource. You are the person you've been looking for. And when I discovered myself, I was actually the person I was looking for.
I love that. And we all gotta find ourselves because you people spend time looking for something from someone else.
External.
You can't get something from someone else that you haven't given yourself. Like when people say, "I love you," and I see the way they treat themselves and how they live, you couldn't possibly. Because I know you couldn't love me more than you love you. And if this the kind of love you give to yourself, the love you giving me is definitely secondhand, third hand. It gotta be worse than what you doing or how you feeling. What makes therapy different from everything else out there?
Well, therapy goes in your past and all that other stuff. And I believe that you can't go back and fix anything. It's over. It's past. Right?
Right.
But now that you have the information, now what?
Right.
Right? That's power P, the personal power. Right? Even if
Right.
you go to therapy, we're not against therapy. But even
Mhm.
when you go to therapy, you still have to do the work,
Right. You
right?
do.
You still have to do the work,
In the current, in the present.
right? You still have to do the work, right?
Right.
So when the therapy office is closed, when you can't get in touch with your friends, now what? What you gonna do?
Right.
You live with yourself every single moment of the day. So
Mhm.
why not rely on yourself?
Right. So
That's
we're
it.
gonna get into some real talk,
Mhm.
and I want you to be real. What's been the hardest part of balancing being a caregiver and building something at the same time?
um, it's the idea that we have two sides of our brains, right? Left, right, whatever you want to call it, right? There's always one side that's want to change, and
Mhm.
there's always a one side that want the status quo. I feel comfortable here, right?
Mhm.
It's like getting out the bed and getting dressed and like, you know what? It's a little cold outside. I want to get back in the bed instead of going out, doing, change.
Mhm.
Um, And that's what I had to deal with. Understanding that once I took one step to change to build Power P, the other side looks greater, looks good. The comfortability side. Oh,
Right,
status quo. Let me just
right,
take
right,
care of moms. Let me just be comfortable,
right,
right? It always look good. That's what our brains do. Our brain, is always trying to protect us. So
right.
I had to go through that noise of when I want to change and walk that way. There's going to be doubts in your head, and let me say, no, this is better. Go back into bed, or go back to the status quo. And that's
Doing
things
what's
I had to fight.
good.
Do what
That's
feels good.
what we do. Do what's minimal, do what feels good, do what doesn't take too much effort. But the real brain power is doing challenging every day your mind.
Yes,
If you didn't
there you
walk
go.
if you could walk a mile today, try to walk 2 miles tomorrow. Don't stick to that 1 mile. Try
Right,
to get it 3 next time. So
right.
I love that, and this is
So
a
when that
very
doubt come, when that
yeah,
doubt come, you say, like I said, everything starts in the mind, and plus whatever you put in your mind, you put it there. So when that doubt come, it says, Zach, you got things to do. No, that's more comfortable. No, I put a new
right,
sentence in my head. No, I'm doing this.
right.
That's what you got to do. That is real
You
like
gotta
that.
push yourself.
You got to push yourself. Nobody's gonna do it for you.
Right. So how do you deal with burnout or those days where it just feels like too much?
I think um, it happens,
Mhm,
but is you have no choice though.
mhm.
I got no choice. I can't sit there and be depressed. I can't sit there and be sad because mom's got to get changed.
Right,
Mom's got to eat.
right.
Right? There's no what's the name. So that's training for me. That's the mental reps.
Mhm.
When I have those things, and that's what made me, be able to push past the doubts and everything and create Power B. Right?
Right,
You have to have those mental reps. If you don't have those mental reps, this is not gonna happen for you. So those are mental reps for me. So I look at it like again, it's perspective. I can look at it and say, "Oh, that's sad moment. Oh, pity on Zach, whatever it
right,
is."
right,
No, I'm saying no. Give me that. I need
right,
those mental reps to make me
right.
strong mentally. So that's what that is.
Mentally, because people work on the body, some people work on the spirit. So it's very
There you go.
seldom we work on the mind, and we feel like we can only work on the mind in therapy. And like you said, revisiting your past is not gonna fix anything, but could give you the tools and the knowledge to make sure you use that to move forward to never let that happen again, never
Right,
be that person again or
right.
whatever it is. I just love where we going with this.
So
So did you
awareness is actually the awareness is the door of change. Just
the
being
door
aware.
change, being
That's it.
aware, being accountable.
Being responsible
Accountability
for your life.
because you could know something about yourself, but that don't
Don't
mean
do
you
it.
change
You
it.
ain't do nothing.
You ain't do
Right?
nothing. You know
You ain't
that.
do nothing.
You know how people be like, you
Yeah.
know, you know when you messed up, you know when you're not thinking right, but what are you willing to do to take control back of how you think?
So when
And
you say that,
how you gonna move?
right? So when you say that, when I look at the health industry, the healthcare system, and doctors and all that stuff, when you go to them, you already know what you got to do. I'm
Right,
overweight. I already know. I heard it 1,000 times. I got to
right,
stop smoking. I know that.
right,
What are you trying to tell me? So
right,
right, I already know that. I've been living 58 years. I know what I got to do, but I just
right.
don't do it.
I don't do
Right,
it.
like I said, because that thing is I'm comfortable over here.
Right,
So when I'm trying to change, the other side looks good. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. I'm going back with the comfortable thing. Right?
right,
So the thing is, I understand that you have to have a conversation of change with yourself. That's the
mm,
only way that you would change. Not me telling you,
right,
because you know what it is.
right,
You gotta have a conversation with yourself, self-talk about change.
right,
It's more likely that you're gonna change if you talk to yourself about it. So I would do is Palpy just give you questions. We don't tell you you have to do anything.
Right.
I point you to yourself. Here's a question. Now you have to think, and now you got to talk to yourself. And then that's the conversation, the change I want you to have. Your own
Right.
conversation. Right. Not telling you to do anything.
Yeah, important because it starts in the mind. Even when I drank all my life, you know where we come from, like that's normal. Like there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with that until it
Normalize.
until it was. But then I had to first say in my mind, I had to tell myself that this was a problem. This don't look nice on you. I had to convince myself that it was not for me before I could actually take the step to do something about it.
Right.
So it makes sense in any dimension, no matter what you're talking about in business, in music,
Whatever.
home, taking care of somebody. So I see Power P being not only for caregivers, but just for people.
That's what it is. It's for anybody, everybody. Right. Like you said, you know, you got to come to that. I'm pretty sure everybody told you. Some people told you, don't be drinking or don't do this, don't do that. You know that already. You already know that. Until you come to
Right.
your senses with yourself. And that is where the resource was at. You didn't need nobody else. You needed yourself.
That's it. I needed
That's
to
it.
convince myself because
You
no
was the
matter
person.
how bad somebody else wanted it for me, I had to want it for me.
That's
I
it.
don't care who wanted it
Bingo.
real. Other people wanted that,
Bingo.
but it was only until I wanted it
Bingo.
is when it mattered.
And that's Power P in a nutshell.
Yes, I love it. So I'm a good student so far, right? I've been a good student already. And I mean, me and him ain't even get into depth. We didn't have no conversations about this. This was not scripted. It's just a
No,
conversation based
that's all.
on one conversation. And I joined the email. I went on parapy.com. I joined
The
the move.
movement. Mhm.
And then I started getting my emails.
That's
Now, he
it.
didn't say you gotta open them up at 5 o'clock. He didn't say I had to open up day 1 on day 1. He didn't say anything. I
No.
read day 5 on day 7,
Right.
12 days later.
Right.
Like,
Right.
it helped me, develop some things, some jewels, some gems
Right.
that, like you could see, I can explain on using these same tools and not only the caregiver setting, which, where this kinda established from, but is definitely something that I feel like everyone can benefit from.
Right.
How important is support when you're in, when you're in a caregiver role? How is important is support?
How important the support is?
Mhm.
Um, support is critical, right? Like the other day, I went out and got some ice cream and everything. I had my peoples, hold it down for 2 hours, right?
Mhm.
I, but the thing is, you can get support, but don't be supported. Let me explain.
Right.
Let me
Mhm.
explain. Because if I would have left out the house, right, had the 2 hours, but my mind is still on alert, mom, 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 right? I'm still there, even though I'm physically not there, but I'm still there. So
Mhm.
have intentionally say, this is my time.
Right.
You have to be intentional. And that's the only way you get rest.
Mhm.
You got to that alert. You got to, okay, mom's is over there. I'm not thinking about her no more. These 2 hours is me.
Right.
These 2 hours is me. And that's what I had to do. I went and got some ice cream, bought some sneakers for the gym. It felt great. I was just focused. You ever been in the zone? Like you
Right.
reading something or you doing something and nothing else matters. You in that
Right.
zone. That's how you have to be.
So this is a little message to all the friends and family of caregivers. Just if you could just go give them that 2 hours or, go over there for the day, go spend the night, even if they still there, maybe you can talk and watch TV and read books and comb hair. A
Right.
little bit could
Simple.
go a long way. Little gestures could
Let me
mean
walk to the store. Let me
yeah,
just hold it down until I walk to the store.
yeah,
That break right there, 10, 15 minutes. That's a great break. But you
yeah,
have to focus in on you and then now that this is my time. So like right now, in the house when I'm with mom, If mom's in her recliner, I can go in the other room
Mhm.
and I'm not no longer thinking about it. I'm reading a book. I'm, I'm on PowerPoint website, whatever. I'm doing me,
Mhm.
right? So I'm no longer caregiving. I know how to separate those two.
And that's big because even when you're taking care of family, no matter who you taking care of or even at work, if you go eat lunch, you still thinking about work.
Right.
You
There
saying,
you go.
"Let me
There you
get this
go.
5 minutes and I don't care about this job right now. For 35 minutes, I'm not at work, I'm at
Right.
lunch."
I'm at lunch. That's where you get
Yeah.
exhausted at because you're thinking all day about work, even at lunch.
Yeah.
Or when you clock out of work, when you swipe that card, that's it. Now you go
Right.
into your personal life. Okay, now is my time. I did
Right.
that 8 for them already. That's it. That's it.
That's very important. So what's next for Power P?
Um, First I wanted people to practice. So only way to get into Power P is through practice. Ain't no going to Power P and you could buy a book or buy a work. None of that. Is practice first. Because the real concept behind it is helping others, right?
Mhm.
I chose a life of service, right? It's helping people. So go through the practice first before you can see anything,
Mhm.
right? Before you can see anything what's available through Power P, because it's more like exclusive, you know. But the
Mhm.
next thing for Power P is I want Power P to be a philosophy, you know, that somebody can teach others. So that's
I
that's
love
what that's
that.
really big, like a philosophy, yeah. So like therapy is
I'm
a
glad I
thing,
got to
Power P
interview
is a
you
thing.
before TED Talk get you.
Say what?
I'm glad I got to interview you before TED Talk get you.
Right.
I could see
It's
you
gonna
doing
go
a
down.
I could see you doing a really good TED Talk. I could see you doing a really good, impactful TED Talk. So don't forget that, Kevin. Um, so how can people support what you're building or get involved?
They just gotta go to powerb.com and like I said, and press join the movement. That's the only way you can get into Power B. There's nothing else. There's no other entry. Just do the
Okay,
practice.
you don't like accept donations, like you don't like you just got this?
Um, Donation. I never thought about that.
'Cause
Uh,
sometimes people just they don't wanna get involved, but what you need, you know? Maybe somebody
actually,
don't want
somebody did. Actually,
but
somebody
they
did
might
do that
like
for me.
the cause, you know? They might support you and try to figure out how they can support you, maybe how they can buy your ice cream next time you go outside or,
Somebody
you know,
did that.
might buy
Somebody
your
did
next
that. That's
tennis shoes. So anything, and you could give them your Facebook or whatever, your Instagram, how they can get in contact you, how they could just follow the movement because he posts a lot of good videos. He shows mom and her progress, and I be jealous of her sometimes because he be feeding her great, like she be chilling. So,
yeah.
let people know how they can kind of
So
see support you.
so as you said, the ice cream and the sneakers and all. Somebody gave me some money for that. They said I want you to specifically do something for you.
See?
So
A lot of
so that
people
was
out.
great for me. But
Mhm.
if you want to support me, the thing that you're doing right now is support. This is the support I like. Like you,
Okay.
you put him in your platform. You said, Zach, I want to interview you. So people can more people can see you and understand what's going on. And that's support to me.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's support to
If
me.
someone takes one thing away from your story, what do you want it to be?
Take one thing.
Mhm.
Um, See for yourself. See for yourself.
That's deep, and that's so see what for yourself, like, see you, see me, see the world, like, that is deep because see for yourself can go a lot of different ways,
Yeah.
but at the end, it's still see for yourself. Like
See
you
for
said,
yourself.
it is.
Yeah, because everybody's saying this, saying that, podcast, this, that, that. See for yourself if that's really, something you need. See for yourself. So that's what the practice is about. See for yourself if you can regulate your emotions. See for yourself.
Right.
Can you reduce your stress? See for yourself
Without medication.
without medication or without outsourcing your healing, outsourcing your healing. See for yourself. You are the resource. Very
Yeah,
simple, and you can rely. You want to build. So Power P helps you build a person that you can rely on. If I want
I
to say
love
that way as well.
I love that. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to interview you. Just being there when I called, it was not even a moment's notice. You picked up, you was there, you was willing to give me some tools and information that I needed and that I'm definitely utilizing. And it's been such a pleasure.
I appreciate that. That's what it's all about. If I can help somebody, that's what it's about, man. I'm glad. Thank you for telling me that. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Thank you. And thank you so much.
Okay.